I'm a very fortunate guy, especially when it comes to shaving. Because I get sent a lot of cool stuff all the time. I got this big old suitcase full of stuff that I've used like once. So what I decided to do is go back through and look at razors that I didn't dislike, but I didn't love them. There's certain that you use and you just love them. So the first one that I got to, because it was sitting on top, is the Single Edge Pro. Now they sent me a couple of these. This is the Pro model, which means that it is adjustable. So yeah, the Single Edge Pro from Supply. Live free. Check them out at supply.co. But anyway, so this is a single edge razor. I love my single edge razors. I always have this one at the ready, the Leaf Shaving Thorn. And when I use this one, I use the other one, which is, this one's the $89 model. The non-adjustable one is the $59 model. And it's been a while. I only used it like once or twice, and I want to revisit it and see if my mind changes, if I was in a bad place emotionally, mentally at the time. But I want to try it again and just revisit razors that I didn't, like I said, didn't dislike, didn't hate or anything like that, just didn't connect with. So this is a really nice one. This is a cool one. This is their top of the line model. And they also sent me the little rubber, the silicone, I should say, a little grip on there. That's a separate thing you have to buy. And this is one of those single edge ones that uses an injector to put the blade in. Now, first of all, let's get the adjustment out of the way. It goes from 1 to 6. I'm going to put it on 4, so just above a half. And then let me get the little razor blades out. These are not proprietary, which is good. I don't think I could ever recommend a proprietary or a razor that uses only proprietary blades from that company. There was one in the past, and I'm drawing a blank on which one it was, but this one is not one of those. This is one you can get these. I can't remember what the heck they're called. This one is actually theirs. It's Supply brand, so you can buy it from them, and you can buy it online. It's like single edge injector blades is what you would put. So if you've never used one of these before, it's a weird looking thing, that's for sure. I don't know, but it's got a little slide. It's got a little slot right there. You see that slot? So this thing goes in there just like this. Watch this. Goes in there just like that. So it's 6, and you're ready to go. No, I'm kidding. So then what you do is the blades are in there. See, there's the blade, and you pull this little sucker back, and then you engage it and push it forward into, let's see if I can do this in reverse. Get in there, baby. You got to get it just right, and you got to get the blade down in there. Come on. There we go. These plastic ones I'm not a huge fan of. They have metal ones that come out a little bit easier. This one always had trouble engaging with the blade, but see, it's starting to push it over there. Let me get it back in there. Got to push this down a little bit and then push. There we go. So push and push. Push down and then push sideways, and there you go. And now it's loaded in. Do you see that? And then you take this thing out. There's still a few blades in there, and when you're done, you can put the other blades, the old blades right there. So there you go. That's how you load the thing. And make sure it's in there good and straight, neat and tidy. You want to get a good shave out of it. There you go. Can you see the blade there now? All right, so we got it on 4. I took a shower. I did my hair. And, I did my hair with a new thing. I used to do the old mousse method. I would mousse in and then use the Suave, put it in, to hold it. But then when I was in England, I forgot stuff, or like I hadn't gone out and bought stuff. And so I borrowed this from my wife's cousin. It was almost done. There was this much, and he moved out already. So thank you again for that. But this is a hair clay, right? Shockwave's messy, matte clay. So I just happened across this stuff. I was like, that's great. It's small. It's usable. I don't need to bring 2 cans of things, and it gets my hair to do whatever I want it to. So what I did, sorry, this is a little tangent before we start shaving. I went out and bought some Cremo thickening paste, clay type. This one's called, thickening paste. So it's similar, but I loves my Cremo. I gots to have my Cremo post-shave balm. This is my favorite all-time go-to post-shave balm. So I was like, well, I'll try Cremo. And this is great stuff. It's making my hair do this. It'll stay in place, but then you can remold it. That's nice. Anyway, a little aside, I just wanted to let you know. Because there is a connection, actually, with the shaving gel I'm going to use today. We're all familiar with Barbasol and shaving brushes and things that you know, all that stuff. But did you know there's a certain type of shaving product called a shaving gel? A clear shaving gel. You see that? Isn't that cool looking? So this is, I've used shaving gel one time before, and it was like years ago. But I was contacted by the good folks over at Brew Grooming, so it's brewgrooming.com, and they said, would you like to try out our new shave gel? I was like, sure, it's been forever, and I want to try yours out. So I haven't tried it yet. I've got it here, and the cool thing is it's called Brew because they use things in it that are like the brewing process for beer. So you get the hops, you get the barley, you get the yeast, you know, and then they add a scent over the top of it. And this one, in this case, I believe is tea tree oil scented. So if you know what tea tree oil smells like, that's what this smells like. So a beautiful, lovely, kind of earthy, almost floral, but not flowery, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm gonna try this today. I haven't used it. What you do is you wet your face and then you squirt some of this in your hand and then you smear it on and you shave. All right, it doesn't lather or anything, it just goes on clear. So, just like old Crystal Pepsi. Old Crystal Gravy. Remember Crystal Gravy? You remember when Crystal Pepsi came out in the early 90s? I always thought that Coke was going to make their own version and call it Clearly Coke. So Coca-Cola, if you want to use that, you still got to pay me. That's my idea. All right, so took a shower, did my hair, and put some hot water on my face. And I'm going to put some of this Brew Grooming shaving gel on. Now, the connection between the hair product and this is that they make a paste like this. So I need to try their version of the matte. What the heck is going on here? Sorry, I'm giving you seizures. I apologize. I should put a warning at the beginning of this thing. Warning, this old guy's going to do weird stuff. That would just be on the front of every one of my videos. So anyway, yeah, so I got this thickening paste. They make their own, which I need to try. They also make other beard care stuff. So it's like this, a beard oil, the hair care, and a dop kit. So anyway, check them out at brewgrooming.com. Let's try this out. Here's what you do. You just squirt some into your palms. Goes on really, it's so cool. It's clear. I don't know why. I don't know why I like that, but I do. Lovely tea tree scent. The only other thing, the reason why I know it's tea tree is because this stuff, which I love, is tea tree scented. So I knew this bayonet butter. That's how I know. So let's put it on. I think I did a quick shave yesterday with, I'm gonna put some more on because the only problem, and I knew this going into it, and I remember this from when I used it before, you have to keep track of what you shave because it's clear. You can't, does it look like I put anything on? I did, but that's the hard part. That's the only drawback that I can think of from using a clear gel. I kind of wish you could really tell where you were. So you just got to think about your shave, I guess. You can't just do it mindlessly. Oh, this stuff smells good. Ooh, tea tree. Tea, like tree that makes tea? Is that where they get tea from, a tea tree? Do tea trees smell like this in the wild if you walk past them? So anyway, there you go. It's on, but you can't see it. So whether you think that's a good idea or not, that's the reality of the situation. I haven't used this stuff before. It smells great. It's got the, what's the guy in it again? It's got the hops and the barley and the yeast. It's American made, it's water based, and it's paraben free. It's out of Miami, Florida. Miami, Florida. All right. So let's take the Supply Single Edge Pro good heavy razor. You know, it's got a good weight to it. It's got this nice matte finish. It's probably stainless steel, I'm not even sure. And it's got the little silicone thing on it. You don't need the silicone thing. You can grip it just fine by itself. Anyway, got it set on 4. Let's go. Let's think about our shave and let's go with, ooh, that is slick, baby. Whoa. Whoo, all right. Hey, you know what? This razor may be made for this sort of gel. Because I don't remember having that reaction last time I used this razor, but does it clean off easily? If I just, the gel, it comes off fairly easily. It's not coming off beautifully. I wish it would, it's thick. It doesn't take too much. All right, let's go again. I got to remember what I've done so far. You know, you just kind of let the razor, it kind of dictates its angle. Like that's the angle, that's your face, you know. A little bit kicked back as the blade is coming out there. I don't feel much blade, which is good. But man, is this smooth. Holy guacamole. Oh, I got some shout outs today, by the way, while we're doing all this. It's going to be a long one, folks, maybe 20, 25 minutes. Because I got some family trip, grandparent style news, and I got 4 shout outs, and I got these products I'm using. So it's a big one today. Big one. Oh, and by the way, if you watch, I think it was last week's, when I said I had met a gentleman from Germany. I was walking to work on the UT campus, University of Texas here in Austin, and I met a gentleman named Marco from Germany. He's a student there. And turns out he's got his own shaving channel too, in German. And let me show you what it is. It's Marco. Here, let me see. I can pull it up here. Rasur und Friseur mit Marco. There he is. There's Marco. So we actually did an exchange of products. Because we passed each other a couple of times on campus after that. I was like, we should exchange some of the stuff that we have. He said, I got some stuff from Germany you probably never use. And I said, I've got this huge bag of stuff. So we did an exchange. I don't have it right now. It's at work. I left it at work. But I gave him some razors to try out. And to keep, by the way. To try out and keep. In case you're watching, Marco. And he gave me some shaving cream and some aftershave. I won't tell you about it now, but it's stuff I never have heard of, never seen, never could have found over here. So, but he gave me the scoop on what they are. So they got some interesting products that have been around for a long time. So anyway, there's Marco. Check him out. If I don't remember to put the link, I'll remember to put. I'll put the link down below to his YouTube channel. So let me go to what else? Oh yeah, here's the brewgrooming.com. Here's what their website looks like. Brewgrooming.com. There, look at all that. Is that barley? Or is that barley? No, that's hops. That's hops, right? I'm not a big beer drinker. I know what malted barley is. I'm a Scotch guy. All right. You know, I am having a much better time with this razor today, and I don't know. I need to go back and look and see what shaving cream I was using then, but I'm digging this gel. It is slick, baby. That's all it is. It doesn't even bother to get lathered. It doesn't need to get lathered. That's pretty cool. I just wish there was a better way to be able to tell where you've used it, you know? I guess just be conscientious. I don't want to have to do work. That's what I sound like to myself. This is real slick, and what I'm leaving behind is real slick too. So it's still soft. This razor is nice. I think I had it, when I took it out of the box, it was set on 6. So I don't remember what I did. I don't know if I dialed up or dialed down or whatever the heck. I just remember that I didn't love this razor. But I'm digging this shave today. That's why I wanted to do this, you know, because, you know, it's like movies sometimes, or even, you know, visiting certain areas. If you're just not in the right mindset for whatever reason, maybe you're angry that day, or you're depressed that day, or, you know, you had something go wrong that morning and the whole rest of your day was just shot, and you go to this thing, you're like, oh, I don't really like that. You know, whether it be a movie or a restaurant or a razor. And sorry, I'm splashing around so much down here. I got to put more water in my little emesis basin. Emesis basin is like this hospital thing. I've shown this before. It's full of water. Got it when my second son was born. I don't know. But anyway, so maybe I was just in a bad mood that day when I was trying this razor. Because I'm really enjoying this. It's like, you know, single edge razors are great, especially for people that like using cartridges, because it feels like you're using a cartridge. But actually, it's a little more comfortable than a cartridge. Because for me, you know, cartridges like these are the 4 blades. Let's just give them 4 blades. Sometimes there's 6, sometimes there's 73 blades. We'll just go with 4. But you're putting like this flat thing against your face, and you're kind of, that feeling is weird. With a single-edged or a safety razor, you're just getting that little bit of an angle, you know, just one little bit of surface area. So I prefer that feeling. But if you are a cartridge shaver, a single-edge razor is probably a good starting point if you ever want to check out safety razors. Start with a single edge. Yeah, the supply. Okay, so there's the first pass. I had no problem remembering where I shaved, so that was good. Still got plenty to go. I could probably dial that up now that I am on 4. Totally comfortable shave. Didn't feel the blade. It did a good job so far. I could walk out the door right now, of course. But I do that every other day, just about. I mean, I don't always do 3 passes, but when I do. Okay, first shout out. Shout out to The Real Josh. The Real Josh, shout out to you. It's been a while since you sent that. Sometimes it takes me a week or two to remember that I have shout outs, so I apologize if it takes a little longer. But The Real Josh, shout out to you, buddy. All right, let's put some more of this stuff on. I'm gonna go nuts with it this time. Although I don't need to because I've already shaved at first. I just want to. It smells so good. Ooh. I really like that tea tree scent, I guess. If there's only one takeaway from this video, it's like, that man likes his tea tree oil. Never would have guessed. Okay, speaking of scents and speaking of this past weekend. So, my father's parents, Papa Sinatra's parents, when I was a kid, they were the grandparents that had the house that wasn't made for kids. You know, they didn't really quite know what to do with kids. They were from a different generation where kids weren't like they are now, where you're just involved in everything. So it was a little fraught. Like relationships were like, I was a kid, so I didn't know. I was just bopping along, doodle-doodle-doo. But the parents and everything that saw it were like, that's not, you know, I wish things were a little bit, you know, I wish we were closer, because we lived right near each other. We lived in like a 15-minute drive in Houston, but we only saw them like twice a year. So, having said all that, the house that they lived in is still there, still in Houston, and my grandfather passed away in like 1991. My grandmother passed away in 1997, so it's been a while. And then my aunt lived there in that same house, which they all moved there. My dad, his sister, and my grandparents moved there in like 1965. And this house is still in the family. It's the only house that I've been able to go back and visit from my childhood, you know. Everything else we moved away from. So it's really... Anyway, so my aunt and her husband lived there after my grandparents died. And then when my aunt passed away just a couple of years ago, her husband now lives in the house, and he's getting ready to move, because there's just too many memories for him in that house. And I don't blame him. I mean, there's a lot of memories in that house for me too. Nothing really bad for me, because I was just a kid, you know. It was just slightly uncomfortable to go there for, you know, Christmas Eve dinner, and, you know, and, oh, you got to sit real prim and proper, and there weren't any toys for us to play with, and the couch was uncomfortable. No. Oh, poor boy. Poor boy, you had to sit on an uncomfortable couch once a year. I know, I hear myself whining. But anyway, this, you know, that's how it is. Anywho. So I went, because when my aunt passed away, she had several items from my grandparents. My grandma used to collect Lalique crystal, which, oh boy, don't get near it when you're a kid. I was always in fear that I was going to bump into one of these display cases and break them all. So now I have them all. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird, life is weird, man. Death is weird. Life is weird. The past is weird. The future, well, hadn't been written yet. But anyway, so I set up a meeting to go finally, after a couple of years, go get all the stuff that was left to me in the will. It's not a ton. It was like picture albums, you know, and this Lalique crystal and some other things. And so I went over there, and I hadn't been in that house in a long time. And it's been totally redone on the inside. So it doesn't look like the house when I was a kid, but it's still the same footprint. So I can remember exactly where everything used to be. So I spent an hour or so, hour and a half with my aunt's widow, you know, her husband. And, okay, third pass, by the way. I'm just going to keep talking. And so I got all that stuff. So this past week, I've been looking through old photo albums, their wedding album, stuff from the 1920s when she was a little girl. My grandma, she like played violin and she was performing, and they were these little tiny towns in Iowa, you know, like Burlington, Iowa, and Maquoketa, Iowa. That's where they lived back then. And then in the 40s, they got married a month before Pearl Harbor. I'm learning all this stuff. I didn't know these things existed. And so it's been very weird to revisit grandparents that you didn't have the strongest bond with. I mean, you loved them because they're your grandparents, you went to their house and, all that stuff. But you didn't have like a super strong, intimate connection with them. So I've been trying to find something to connect with in all this. And I think over the past week, as I've been reading, because the wedding album, there's like 12 love letters in there from my grandfather to my grandmother before they got married. So I've been reading those and kind of getting an idea of what he was like as a 21, 22-year-old man in 1941. So it's been very weird revisiting parts of my own past, parts of my dad's past. Looking at pictures of him and his sister when they were little bitty in the 50s. Oh, cutest thing you ever saw. But anyway, so the one thing I have learned, and that he admits in these love letters, my grandpa was very cocky. He was very full of himself. Oh, man. He was a painter, so I have a bunch of his paintings now. I have like 6 of his paintings, and I got to give some of this stuff to my sister and my brother. So if you guys are watching, we need to set that up, because I don't want to keep all of this stuff, and I think that some of it should be spread around to whoever might want it. But it's been very weird. Have you ever had that kind of experience where you're, looking at stuff you never knew existed, these old photo albums from the 20s and 30s and 40s, and seeing your grandparents and, in the prime of their life, and you never really knew them. I never really knew them, It's a shame that we can't go back and like spend like a few days as an adult with your maturity level, with your brain fully developed now, after the age of 25, your amygdala or whatever is finally formed and you can appreciate things more. But yeah, interesting. So anyway, that's all about that little memory lane thing. So that house will be going up for sale, I assume, sometime soon. He's moving out. He's going to move out to the hill country. Oh, one last thing. He also collects cool guitars, and he let me play his 1962 Fender Stratocaster. You know how much that thing is worth? Google vintage 1962 Fender Stratocaster. This thing was beautiful. Oh, so cool. So that was a great experience I had in that house. That was and I told him afterwards, because he showed me a couple of his guitars before he packed them up, to take to the new place. I said, this is one of the best experiences I've had in this house. So it was kind of a nice kind of button on the end, What if I shaved up here? I've lost track. Dang it, third pass. I think I already did this, didn't I? Yeah, I think so. Okay, a couple more shout outs. Paul Buckley, 6377. Paul Buckley, shout out to you, brother. Paul Buckley, 6377. Got that one just like the other day, so that was a quick one. And then, let's see. Aziz KH, shout out to you. Sorry I'm doing these really quick. I just forgot. I feel like I've been blathering and babbling. I want to get you out of here and get you on your way as I shave. I'm digging this shave gel. I thought I wasn't going to like it. Honestly, this is a nice little epiphany. There you see it. There's your thumbnail. I was going to do that at some point. Put a little thumbnail up. I don't always use that thumbnail, but when I do. All right. So Brew Grooming and the Supply. Am I in love with this razor? No, I'm not in love with it, but I'm having a much better time of it today. And this is really adding to it. Honestly, I was kind of like a little intrepid going into the clear gelling. I don't know. It's not really for me, but I didn't want to turn it down. I wanted to give it a shot. I want to keep an open mind. I'm glad I did. This is actually, I think the other shave gel that I used years ago did not have a scent. I think it was unscented. So just that little bit of something extra is nice. But I do need to try out their hair clay since I've now gotten into this stuff. Thickening paste. Cremo. Good stuff. All right. Oh, man. So slick. I mean, insanely slick. Like, if you wanted to use this in conjunction with anything else, any other shaving cream, you would up the slickness factor about 1,000%. So keep that in mind, folks. All right, I'm going to wash my face off and then go over any problem areas. And I have one final, the most important shout out. It's for a young man who washes. His dad wants the shout out for him. Oh, man. It's like a slip and slide on this. Woo! I like it. You know, I got my brush out and I had it sitting here because I was going to switch over to, after the first pass, I was going to switch over to one of my normal shaving creams, whatever. what's it called that you shave with? Shaving pucks, shaving soap, shaving cream. I was going to do that, but I didn't need to. I liked it. Dang. Surprising. And now I'm going to get all the problem areas. Oh, I should have dialed this up. Dang it, I forgot to do that. I'm still keeping it on a 4. It's kind of a sweet spot. I'm not feeling any blade whatsoever, so there's no discomfort. It's actually a very comfortable shave. The blade angle is, like I said, is kind of built in. You don't have to think too much about that. You got to think about the gel. You don't have to think too much about the blade angle. This thing keeps slipping off. It keeps doing this, so I keep putting it back on. Get up there. All right. Okay. So the final shout out before we wash off and put on the Cremo post shave balm is KC1512. He's the dad. And he said he wants to shout out his 13-year-old stepson, Hayden. Hayden, you know what he said? He said, so KC1512 has been with Hayden's mom since Hayden was 2 years old, and he's now 13. So his formative years have been spent with his stepdad, and he said he's a great kid. So Hayden, your stepdad is really proud of you, and he says he can't wait to see what you choose to shave with as you're getting very close, like my son is, to having to shave, and what you might choose. So shout out to you, Hayden, turning 13, watches all the time, watches with his stepdad, KC1512. And you know what? You don't even need to say the word step in front of that. He's just your dad. He's your dad, isn't he? And he loves you. So that's great. All right. Let's see, one last little thing here. I'm going to dial this up to a 6. Look at that, easy as pie. Ooh. Oh. It's like when you change the height on your lawnmower wheels, you're like, ooh, got a little extra there. I think that was it. All right, well, let's wash down. Cold water this time. I'll take this brush out since I didn't use it. Still gonna beat the devil out of it. Let it dry. Sorry for that pounding on the counter there. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh. Okay, there we go, folks. Let's put on the aftershave. Do I have anything else to talk about? I'm looking around here, No, I don't think so. Okay, let's put on the aftershave. The Cremo, which I'm starting to, I use their thickening paste, whatever, hair gel. Now I'm using this. I'm just buying into the whole ecosystem. Oh, gosh. It just smells like a beautiful old... I don't know. I can't put it into words. It smells like a great old antique shop, if that makes sense. And I know I've tried to explain it. And you know what I like to do? I put a little Captain's Choice 45th parallel just on my neck, A little cherry bomb. Oh, man. I'm overindulging myself today. That's what it is. With the Cremo and the brew and the brewgrooming.com. That's some good stuff. I like it. I didn't think I would. The Single Edge Pro. I didn't really connect with it last time. I had a great time today with this thing. See, go back and revisit things that you already formed an opinion on, whether, something simple like this. I'm not talking about really major stuff, but, little simple things like, I didn't like that one restaurant. Maybe you went there on a bad night. Anyway, cool. Interesting. Glad I did that. All right. Is that it? Yes, I think so. Good. All done. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me, and thanks to everybody. What are the shout-outs again? I'm going to say them all again. The Real Josh, Aziz KH, Paul Buckley 6377, and KC1512, and his son, Hayden. Happy birthday, Hayden, and happy shaving, whatever it is you choose. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all very soon. Okay.